His real name is Jermaine. I don't know why
Jermaine,
that.
really?
Yeah,
Wildstein.
yeah. His real name is. Yeah,
I don't know if Wildstein is his actual name, but it kind of makes sense.
yeah. I'm not sure if Wilder is his name, but yeah, I just remember like hearing that when his name is Jermaine. I'm like, oh, okay.
That really
I just
doesn't
always
fit
thought it was
him.
Gene. No, it didn't, and I think that's why it hit me. Like it's like, wow, he doesn't look like a Jermaine.
Yeah.
Maybe a Jeremiah.
Every time I think of Jermaine, I think of the Jackson 5.
Mm-hmm.
I just think of Jermaine Jackson. That's all I think about. So it just wouldn't fit.
Yeah, it's a general. It's generally used as an African American name. I mean, it's just common in that community, and
yeah,
especially in that era, like especially in that time frame where there was a lot bigger reference to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I suppose it's where he grew up, and it's and people take on different names and stuff, and it's maybe his parents liked that name and gave it to him.
Well, I'm wondering if he changed his name on purpose or used it differently because of that or not.
I don't know.
Changed it on the purpose.
Well, because you think about it, like back in the early time frame, like back in those days, people used to change their name because they sounded too much like one particular group, regardless of where it was. You know, like certain writers, they use pseudonyms because, like, oh, if they found out that the writer was a woman, then it would never get published. So, like, a lot of old time, like, famous writers use pseudonyms.
Whoopi Goldberg did, didn't she?
Yeah,
she changed her name.
What's her?
Yeah, to make it sound more Jewish. That's what she says now. I don't know whether that was actually the truth in back in the day, but she said there was a lot of directors and stuff that were Jewish links. So Goldberg made them look directly at a CV or resume or whatever they use.
Her real name is Karen Elaine Johnson. I think that's how you say it, like the first name.
Is that Karen?
Lorraine Johnson.
Caryn. So
Karen.
Yeah. How Zombie said it.
Yeah, but that does.
We speak the same language. We just don't say the same words.
that doesn't make me think of any particular group though. That's kind of a.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. For her, she chose Goldberg in like a reverse racism way, as in she's like, oh, here, I'm gonna do this to make me seem like or get that name out there because they'll think of it, it is this group as opposed to like when people are changing it to get so they don't get reference with the group instead.
Well, where nowadays it's completely different, isn't it? Like, if you think that, like, obviously, you don't need to do that because you're getting seen more like on your color of the skin, if that makes sense. Because I think she obviously changed the name, on obviously, like you said, for Jewish reasons and because of the color of the skin.
Well,
yeah, I think so.
The thing is, like, how that plays out though, when someone's a casting director or all that, when they like the benefit she would have gotten from it would have just been like, oh, okay, I'm gonna call this person in, and just put them on the extra stack. Anything else after that would be you get a chance where, as opposed like with the name Johnson, you wouldn't have,
Yeah.
That's really all, she got out of it. But nowadays you do that sort of thing and people call you racist and all that type of stuff.
It's cultural appropriation.
Yeah,
cultural appropriation, isn't it? That's the buzz thing at the moment. I personally find that ridiculous. I'm sorry. I think the best thing that we can do is appreciate other cultures, and I think appreciating other cultures is a fundamental part of growing.
It is. If you notice, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on. You go ahead, man.
Well, I was gonna say, like, because if you notice, like, the areas where the least amount of problems exist in that area, it's all groups of people who intermingle completely. Like, all the people who have problems are the ones who separate themselves and keep themselves away from like everybody else. It's we were raised as kids to like treat everybody as if you would treat yourself, but in doing that we completely ignored other cultures and didn't learn. And now we're in this place where we're trying to intermingle and all that, but we don't understand each other at all because we live right next door to each other, but we didn't actually talk to each other.
Yeah, I mean, if we go down the line of just stopping respecting or looking into other people's cultures, it's just apartheid. It's going back to the 60s in America. It's going back to quite a while ago in Europe and like it's apartheid. It's
The 90s
separating
in
yourself
South
out.
Africa.
Yeah, exactly. It's why would you want to create that? Why would you
Yeah,
want
and
that
it's just like
situation?
it's a screwed up idea because it's like it's just segregation, but it's done willingly.
Yeah.
You know, everybody intentionally, like, and it's done in a way that it's like you're intermingling, but you're segregating yourselves because like you have all these cultures, like different cultures have like different like restaurants to say, and we're right there, but nobody actually goes in and actually learns about the culture of the people who are there. But like, oh look, we're multicultural because we're within the same block. When really, it's you're not learning anything. You don't know anything about the culture, and people are still looking at it from a distance through like side eyes. And that's where the problem is. You look at it suspiciously. Any type of thing that seems off kilter is going to be suspicious to you, or evidence of whatever your suspicion is.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
But as soon as you get to know them, you start looking at them as people.
And I think everyone's to a certain degree, like what you've just said, in regards to getting to know different people and going out of your comfort zone to appreciate someone else's culture or way of whatever. That's what brings people together.
That's how we, moved on as a species, grew up as a species. Yeah. It's through, so like the way our brains work is we discriminate against things, as in we see it, we don't recognize it, so we have to actually like watch it. And then we got to a point in our history where we don't have to worry about like tigers and bushes jumping out at us and doing that. So what do? We look at stuff that's different. And if we would just like stop looking at it from a distance and suspiciously and actually get involved and get to know it and get, and immerse yourselves in it, then that suspicion goes away and that discrimination goes away. You don't have to worry about something being scary or being evil if you actually know what it is or know who they are or know why they're there.
And that's where we'll end that conversation.